Good morning in Comstock. Good morning in Castleton, home of the Squirrels. Thank you for making KFGO number one in the morning, number one all day long. The KFGO Morning Crew, Doug Leier, Amistadi. Getting your Tuesday. It's December 1st. Set for you.
You bet. We have a new segment starting here on the KFGO Morning Crew every Tuesday at 6:40. The home inspector is here. Lars Knobloch with Nordic Companies joining us here on the KFGO Morning Crew. Good morning to you, Lars.
Hello.
And great to have you on board with us.
And you're willing to take some phone calls or text messages from our listeners if they have any questions for you, right?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'll be doing my best. I'll do my best to try to answer.
You bet. If you
Absolutely.
guys have any questions for Lars, you can text them into our 702 Communications Text Club, the number 35270. And if you want to pick up the phone, 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346.
Lars, we all look in the mirror, and most of us men can admit that we're procrastinators. And, sometimes we get snow in October like we did this year, and we hurry up and get stuff done. And then we get to December, and, weather has been very nice, and we've been waiting to do this and should have winterized that. Let's start off with some key points and some important things about getting our home ready for winter. Where do we start, Lars?
I would start with your heating system, and we say this over and over again, and we tell people to service their heating system before every winter over and over again, and we see when we inspect these houses that their service records are empty. So, your furnace or your boiler or whatever heating system you have been sitting, not in use now for months and months. You've been starting to turn them on a little bit as of recent months, but they haven't gotten to the point yet where they have to run all the time to keep up the temperature in your house. And that's when they start shutting down and things go wrong. So, prepare for the winter, have your heating system serviced. I think that's the number one most basic thing.
When you are inspecting a furnace, what are some things that maybe you hear or see that would be a red flag that you go, uh-oh, hold on, folks, we need to check a little bit closer at this?
One of the most common things is a completely dirty filter. So that's where most fail. Other times there might be an ignition issue because the furnace is has so much, it's just gotten so dirty over time and hasn't been cleaned and serviced. We also commonly see that a furnace is short cycling, meaning that it turns on and it runs for 5 minutes and then it shuts off, takes a break, and so it goes over and over and over again. So it's about efficiency as well, having your furnace serviced to make sure it's running as efficient as possible.
Lars Knobloch of Nordic Companies joining us here on the KFGO Morning Crew. The home inspector is here. He will be joining us every Tuesday right around 6:40. We'll be talking about various issues, and if you have any questions for him, you can text them in to the 702 Communications Text Club, 35270, or give him a call, 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346.
Our text club is powered by 702 Communications. We got a text message in, and this is very a really good question, Lars, because people may not be familiar with the work of a home inspector. How far out are you booked? If somebody needs to get a home inspection done, how far ahead do they need to plan to have that taken care of, Lars?
There's like 35 home inspectors in our area. So, and there's probably a handful of those companies that could be booked out, 10, 14 days. But it depends on what time of the year you're looking at buying a house. During a really busy season, I would say the most established companies are booked out 10 to 15 days or so. While maybe some more inexperienced inspectors might be able to fit you in within a couple of days. So it really depends on the inspector. It depends on the time of the year and the market.
How about Inspector Lars and your company, Nordic Companies? How about you throw a phone number? What's your main phone number there, Lars, if anybody wants to get anything set up for you?
Yeah, they can give us a call at 701-566-1446, or check out our Facebook. You can also schedule inspections on our website, NordicCompaniesInc.com.
Very good.
566 1446 701-566-1446. Lars, if we talked about the furnace, what's the next stop? What's another key area to be looking at going into this colder, snowier winter time of year?
One thing to consider is to actually, this is a simple tip, to actually set your ceiling fan to run clockwise. When you do that, you will create a gentle updraft of air. It's basically pulling cold air up from the floor and forcing it up to the ceiling, and then you're pushing the hot air that's up in the ceiling back down again. That doesn't really make your room or your house warmer, but it make it feel warmer. As the hot air rises and sits in the ceiling, then it will get forced down.
That's a neat little.
So that's
a neat trick.
Yeah.
Would that save you money then on your heating bill, I would imagine, or no?
Yeah, I think it could, absolutely. It would feel, you won't get the chills and go over to your thermostat and be like, oh, it's so cold in here, and turn it up, because you will maintain your room temperature more even. But I want to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Do you guys cover your AC unit for the winter?
Yes. Well, no, we don't. We used to, but not our new house, no. Are we supposed to?
No. Well, that's a good question, right? We get that question a lot.
I gave you two answers, yes and no.
So you got right. You answered right no matter what. No, it's a good question, and we get that question asked a lot. And to me, the answer is it depends. Many think that we have to cover our AC compressor to protect it from ice and snow and cold weather, but that's not really the case. These units are designed to withstand, outside temperatures in any type of weather. What we want to protect them from is debris and seeds and, dirt falling into them. So basically what that means, if you live in an older neighborhood, you want to cover it. If you live in a newer neighborhood with less trees and less vegetation like that, there's probably no need to cover it. But when you cover it, or if you decide to cover it, make sure you don't cover it completely. You want to leave a gap the first or the bottom six inches. And many feel like they want to cover it too to protect it from rodents. But in fact, when you cover it, you are actually creating a nice, cozy environment for rodents to kind of crawl into.
Lars, that is some great advice, some great insight. I want to make sure our listeners know how they can get in contact with you. Is it best to contact you early in the morning, late in the day? So your phone number, your Facebook, how can people get in contact with the home inspector?
We are pretty much available anytime. As I said before, our website is always available for scheduling inspections. If anyone will have any questions, we are open from early morning until late night pretty much. At least we try to answer the phone even later in the day. So our number is 701-566-1446.
Very good. Some great advice. Lars, we look forward to visiting with you every week. Went too fast this morning. Thanks for your time, and we'll catch you again next Tuesday at 6:40.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You
care.
bet. Lars Knobloch with Nordic Companies, Inc. The home inspector is here. Fun segment. And if you guys have any questions, again, he's going to be joining us every Tuesday at 6:40. You can either call him or you can text in your questions. Lars Knobloch, Nordic Companies.